So, my story with depression. My daughter was born 14 years ago, and I suffered with postnatal depression, and I really did suffer. And it was a long journey, and years of therapy, and up and down, and medication. And I reached a point in August 2012, so 2 years ago, and in fact, this week in Adelaide, at the LifeLine Experience, is my second birthday. Because in August 2 years ago, I tried to commit suicide. Because I'd reached a point with the depression that 12 years of therapy and understanding my story and going over and over my story and trying to figure out what had caused things and being completely enmeshed in the depression and why I was depressed and what I was feeling got me to the point where I wanted to check out. And happily, I wasn't successful, though it wasn't happily at the time. At the time I was angry, so angry, and I spent 7 weeks in hospital after that. And I spent about 7 or 8 months after that suicide attempt just kind of desperately clinging to the edges of life. And then, because I trust a friend, a really, really close friend, I decided to come and do the LifeLine Technique training. And I'd never had a LifeLine session. Didn't know anything about it, but I trusted my friend. And I came, and, well, here I am having my second birthday. You know. What was so amazing for me about those 5 days, and it's been a journey that started there and has been going for 2 years, but what was so amazing for me is that stuff that I had been enmeshed in for 12 years, stuff that I could tell you about every single family relationship and why it was doing it and why I was reacting that way, stuff that I'd been talking about in therapy for 12 years, I came to the LifeLine Technique training, and in 5 days, I shifted it. And nothing in therapy helped me shift it till I got to the LifeLine. Because the LifeLine taught me a new way to look at it. It taught me a new way to look at it. It taught me to see the depression not as the problem, but as the conversation. And the minute I can take that observer role and go, would I choose this? And it's such a stupid question. Like, it seems like such a stupid question. Would I choose this? But no, I don't choose this. And then, once I can get into that observer role, I can start setting intention about what I do choose. Yeah. And so for me, the 5-day training was profound because it really helped me shift energy, helped me shift my focus, helped me raise my vibration, literally helped me see the world in a different way, helped me see the conversation of depression in a different way, helped me see the conversation of my life in a different way. And it's been a process of growth since then. And for me, particularly, what's been so extraordinary about it is I had been plagued with suicidal thoughts for most of the 12 years leading up to my suicide attempt. Certainly in the 2 years before the suicide attempt, constant, all day, every day. I want to check out. I don't want to be here anymore. How can I do this? When should I do this? How should I do this? The impact this depression is having on the people around me, this world is better without me. All day, every day. And since I came to the LifeLine Technique training, I've not had one suicidal thought. Not one suicidal thought in 18 months. And you know what? Man, have I got so much extra energy for living. All that energy that wanted to check out, suddenly I've got that energy to devote to thriving and to where I want to go in the world and how I want to be in the world and how I want to view the world and what I want the world to give me back. And sometimes, and this is the most powerful part, I think, sometimes if I get triggered, and usually it's by family, because, you know, family are our greatest teachers. Right. You know, and sometimes I'll just feel the start of a suicidal thought, because that's a pattern. Yeah, it's a pattern now, and it's automatic now. It's like a part of me just goes, oh, we don't need to go there. We don't need to go there. And it just melts away. It's just not even a part of the reactive pattern that I'm in anymore. And so for me, it's just been the most incredible journey, not of overcoming depression. It hasn't been about overcoming depression. And this for me is the real problem with the focus in the whole mental health system, is that we're trying to overcome depression. No, I'm just living my life. I'm living my truth. I'm focusing on where I'm going.
You use the LifeLine Technique.
Absolutely. I use the LifeLine Technique. I use the LifeLine Technique every day. Whether I do a whole session or whether, you know, I'm just in the car and someone cuts me off and I go, infinite love and gratitude to road rage. Okay, that's just road rage, Claire. Infinite love and gratitude, let it go. You know, and I can go back to my conversation instead of, you know, sticking up the finger.
Right.
You know, it just helps me show up better in the world.
Right.
Right? You know, I hear my mother's words coming out of my mouth. You know, and I go, there's a core limiting belief. All right, I'm going to sit with that core limiting belief for a minute. What's underneath that? You know, yeah, I use the LifeLine Technique every day.
You know, and so the people that right now that might be watching this that are suffering with depression and also going through daily thoughts of committing suicide, what might you want you know, being where you are now and going through what you've gone through, what do you want to say to them?
Infinite love and gratitude to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Compassion. Yeah. What I want to say to them, emotion is a paradox. The more we resist it and push it away, the more it grows, the more we focus on it. And it's really, really hard to sit in it. But the LifeLine helps you do that, and it helps you do it safely. Because once you can sit in it, once you can really acknowledge the conversation and be with that conversation and see what it's got to teach you, in the context of the LifeLine Technique now I'm talking, once you can do that, you can let go of what you need to let go of. And you don't have to hold on to it anymore. And that's the real paradox of emotion. Mm. And for me, what's so powerful about the LifeLine Technique is it helps you get to what you need to sit with. And it holds you in a space when you're doing it. And then you raise your vibration. You set your intention for how you want to be in this world, for what you do want in this world, for how you want to show up, for how you want to feel, for how you want to live your life. And I've said it to you before. I'm not just surviving depression. I'm not just living my life. I'm thriving.
Yes.
I'm thriving. Like it's not a matter of overcoming. It's a matter of going places that I hadn't even been able to envisage while I was sitting in the depression. Yeah. And so that's, for me, is the most powerful thing. So, you know, I would say to people, find a LifeLine practitioner. Seriously, go and have a session. Go and have some sessions, because it can make a difference. It can really make a difference.
Well, thank you for sharing your story and your heart and your hope.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Hope. Absolutely. Because there is hope. Yeah. And I think so much about the way we approach depression and mental health these days is there's just no hope.
Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love and gratitude.